Hey, Arts and Crafts. I was just getting started today. Uh, probably, yeah, I'm not playing any games tonight, and there's a reason why. Um, well, I just recently started a new diet, and my body hasn't quite caught up with it yet, so a lot of my concentration is out the window right now when it comes to playing games. I tried to start playing one just offhand earlier today, and had nothing to do with the show or anything, but my mind just couldn't focus on it. So until I can get my focus back, I'm not doing any games for a while. So I'm going to do other things until then. Um, I am taking uh, vitamins and stuff to kind of balance out what's going on. So it has a lot to do with my blood apparently. So I got to take a magnesium. Let me look at them here. I'm not going to put them in front. So anyway, D3, B12, and iron, which I've only recently started. I've been started taking them as of 2 days ago, and I am starting to get kind of back into my brain actually going, "Hey, I'm awake," and not forgetting that it's awake. So that's kind of a thing right now. Picked up a couple of things here. I'm gonna be hooking these up here soon so we can get a better look at stuff. I know these are for digital looking. It's a digital camera for looking at coins, but I can also throw other things in front of it so you guys can see it when I'm looking at it. So it doesn't necessarily have to be coins. So hopefully that will be up and running soon. I gotta get a. I had this laptop doesn't have a DVD player, so I gotta get a DVD player to hook up to it to get that to program. Or I could see if there's a free programming somewhere online because this is kind of an old item. So, but it does have the UPS. I don't know what they're called right now, but it has the little ports there, so I should be able to use it just fine. So it might be something interesting, like if I'm looking at a magazine or something like that, I can kind of like put it down. You guys can look at it while I'm looking at it. Stuff like that. Anyway, hi everybody, this is Dave. Oh, I said everybody. I meant to say hello, fellow player characters. This is Dave on CRPG Dungeons and Dragons tonight. And this is the inaugural Talking Shop, which was a show that I was having on my YouTube channel for a while, but not many people were showing up to it. So I'm giving it a shot here on Twitch. Um, Usually, I just pretty much talk about anything RPG related, sci-fi, fantasy related, what's going on with books, what's going on with me, movies, just pretty much whatever. As long as it has to do with nerdiness. Oh, I came across this. I know it's not very good artwork, and you probably could barely see it. But this was actually one of the old drawings I did when I was writing up some D&D stuff. I actually, just came up with some random artwork. Not very good. I mean, I still consider it very amateurish at best. But Broken World was what I was calling the campaign setting. So much so that I was actually thinking about making a comic book out of it at one time. Kind of in the vein of a heavy metal magazine or something like that. Where it was just random stories set on that in that particular universe. And they could be interconnected and stuff. Like I said, it's nothing like yours, that's for sure. I mean, I've seen your artwork, and that's like chef's kiss stuff right there. But yeah, mine. I was never very good with colors, so it's like most of my stuff's black and white, and half the time you can never. If you if you like I just showed it on here, you couldn't really tell what was going on. You know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and see if I could. Well, thank you. If I could find some more of my old artwork, and that was made like about 5, 6 years ago, which is about the same time that I started giving up on drawing stuff. I think I said it on my on one of my interviews with vendors in my last anime convention that I pretty much gave up on artwork because the art teachers at the time were telling me just to give up. I was never going to get anywhere with it. Just give up. Maybe. Considering that's almost the exact same kind of artwork I was doing in high school. Um, yeah, also, because I was bored and I was thinking about doing something in June, I'm going to be dropping Order of the Griffin for a while because mainly Order of the Griffin's been boring me. I'll get back to it, I mean, because it's getting interesting, but it's just it's the grinding that's boring me. Art teachers are some right bastards to say that to a young person. Well, I'm 49 years old now. It's probably about 45, maybe 46 at the time. And I decided to go back to college, and I was going in for computers and stuff. And then I joined an art class because I figured I'd get back to it. 45 years young. I wish. Well, the funny thing is 9 times out of 10, if I tell someone I'm 49 now, and if I tell someone I'm 49 years old, half the time they don't believe me. I have to crack out my ID. But I'm going to be, like I was saying though, I'm going to be changing up my schedule again. So, because Order of the Griffin, I'm just not getting anywhere with it right now because of the grinding. So I'm probably going to do, starting in, I think it's June 6th, which is that Saturday, I'm going to be doing a more gothic horror themed thing going on, which is why I did that opener, that new opener you guys saw, where it's CRPG Nights of Horror. I think I called it that. Give me a second. Yes, I don't rightly remember. Oh, that's my porn collection. You don't want to see that. Oh, Realms of Horror. That's what I wanted to. Originally, I was calling it Tomb of Horror, but that was too close to Tombs of Terror, which is a D&D um, thing. So I felt that was too on the nose. So I went with Realms of Horror. And for those who haven't seen it yet, let's stop it before it switches over to the next video. But how I came up with that one was anybody that was anybody in the 80s and early 90s, you had your horror shows. Thank you. You had your horror shows, but about yeah, I remember there was like Captain USA, 100% Weird, shows like that, and um, on broadcast channels you had stuff like Creature Feature, Action Theater, Kung Fu Theater, So I decided to make something kind of in the vein of those. So that was more out of fun than any necessity. And Kevin MacLeod just happened to have appropriate music for that. Because I heard that one, I just went like, that's perfect. It was kind of like when Daffy Duck sent me his music, which he gave me that music I've been playing on there. He gave me that. I was actually going to. I was originally intending to pay him for it, but he just said, "No, man, you're my friend, so that's all for you, man." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, man." But I heard that music, and I think I even mentioned it in when I introduced it. I said that I heard the music, and I think within 5-10 minutes I had the concept and pretty much half of it built by the time you know within 5-10 minutes. And yeah, when I get little inspirations like that, I can have something set up within minutes. And I'll tell you the truth. Thank you, man. Um, but when it comes to editing and stuff, I do enjoy editing. I enjoy editing quite a bit. But when I make the videos, I have fun making the videos. I have fun putting things together. But like when I do like a reaction video or stuff like that, check out what I do afterwards when I make it for YouTube, because I'll edit in stuff that was not in the live at all. Because I'll be thinking like, oh yeah, I made this mention, so I'll pop a picture up. I use God, what do I call it? I've actually gone through three different systems, and this is the third one now. This one's called Power Director 365. The original, I don't remember the names of the other two, but I started off with one system, and then they hiked up the price on how much because you've got to pay like a yearly thing for some of these to get like the full benefit of everything, and they hiked up the price and the first one was by monthly basis. This one is, I think, once a year that I have to pay for it. And I'm being charged like the extra stuff because I wanted to use, if it's there, I wanted to be able to use it. Oh, by the way, I do note that a lot of people tend to use like particular thumbnails. And this is a question particularly for Daffy Duck, because I know he uses that system. Where do you get the thumbnails from? Because I would like to enhance my thumbnails, because I did like a somewhat of an attempt here on my channel. Here, let me show you guys. I'll do the adjusting here in a second as soon as I get to the page. But last night, yeah, there it is. Let's see if I can grow it. Yeah, there we can go. There, that. I don't want to touch anything off of that, so I'm going to move that over to here. This bad boy right here. Oh, it helps if I use the correct screen. This one right here. I see a lot of it where people do like a little, where they have a picture of themselves and then they have stuff in the background. So I was kind of interested in, doing a version of Photoshop Lite on my iPad. Oh, well, I don't have an iPad. I have an iPhone, but I think I'll probably try to look into that. But yeah, so I actually did this using my system here. What I used was I removed the background of a photo of myself in video. I took a picture out of my video. Okay, I'll look into it. The only thing is it's weird that on my YouTube it doesn't allow me to change the thumbnails. So I don't know what the problem is. I might be able to find an app on here or something. That's why I was reaching out to Daffy Duck particular on this one because he would possibly know. More than likely know, because I've seen him use that sort of format on his thumbnails. And I would like to give them a try. So, and I've seen them on dozens of people, and so it's like, well, these are the guys that usually get like the. So if I'm thinking if I make a little bit more dynamic thumbnails, that might draw more attention. We'll see. Let's see what else was on my agenda tonight. Well, but yeah, I'll look into it. Arts and crafts. Yeah, because usually what I do is like when I do the shorts and stuff like that, but which I do very few of those. I almost did one earlier because they brought back my favorites. Not very good to roll on carpet. This is where if I get the chance, I'm either moving to Utah or I'm ripping out this carpet. Yeah, I don't think so either. They got my peanut butter pretzels again over at Costco. And you can see I've already kind of dove into them. And Dad helped himself to some too. Well, he didn't help himself. I put some in the Ziploc for him and gave them to him. Because he likes them too. But, well, I watched Dragon Slayer and Kroll a couple nights ago. And I will tell you two things about this movie. One, the special effects are fantastic. And two, I don't remember this movie being that boring. I mean, the scenes with the dragon are great and all that, but everything else around it was just like, it was a snooze fest for me. Yeah, what a night. And this one, I have a confession to make. I used to have this. Well, let me put it to you this way. Christopher McNichol, who is a known actor, you've seen him in Addams Family Values as one of the camp counselors. He plays Galen Pathwarden, I think his name is. Well, it just says Galen on the box here, but I can't remember what his last name was, but basically he's like a wizard's apprentice. And the wizard gets hired to slay a dragon that's terrorizing this kingdom, which the king has made a deal to sacrifice virgins to on a regular basis via lottery. I played Kroll the arcade game too back when we had a Showbiz Pizza. That was the only place I knew that had it. Of course, I was like 9 or 8 years old, but on this one, but going back to this for a minute, but yeah, it's kind of a cool movie. It's kind of gross because you actually see like a princess get her foot eaten off. You see the emperor get set on fire, and I mean the emperor from Star Wars. He plays a priest in this, or a monk or a priest in it, and he gets set ablaze. Well, that's kind of the same name. It's Warden, but there's something different. There's something different. They put Pax Warden or something like that. But give me just a second. I think I just got called. As I was saying, though, they used kind of an interesting system to make the dragon. Whereas they used a form of miniatures, but it was a free moving one, so it wasn't using stop motion. And it's kind of crazy looking when you see it. But I'm going to go ahead and give me a second here to look up the name real quick. Because I remember he did have like I think that's where they got the name from, because the movie came out in 1981, and I remember that, what was it called? Weasel's Luck, I think it was, that had Galen Pathwarden in it. And it had, what was Bayard Brightblade. Oh, you looked it up. Brand Warden. Yep. And it was Path Warden for the other one. Okay. Still, I'm looking it up anyways, just in case, I don't. By the way, I have an apology to everybody. The last time I did one of these kind of streams, I mentioned that I didn't recall seeing or hearing anything about in Game of Thrones where Jon Snow is told about his ancestry by any of the characters, even though it was brought up, and I got the impression it was never brought up again. It was brought up several times afterwards. In fact, because I was going through my shorts and on YouTube, I was watching shorts, and they kept bringing that up for whatever reason. Because I don't even mention Game of Thrones, so I don't know why it was being brought up so many times. And I got Dragon Slayer, and it says disambiguous. Okay, so we got a 1981 movie. Apparently, there's also a 2011 movie. No relation. Okay, yeah, Ralph Richardson. Yeah, Ralph Richardson. And it did poorly at the box office, yeah. Because it was no Raiders of the Lost Ark, and like I said, it's a very, Weasel's Luck, you're right. But it was one of those ones where it was like, I remember seeing it on like Cinemax and HBO when I was a kid, and I remember it being a very dark movie. And I don't mean just dark as in, the content was dark. It was a little bit lighter than Aliens versus Predator Requiem when it came to the lighting. And that's all I'm going to say about it. If you know about AVP Requiem, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it was Peter McNichol. Why did I say Christopher? Peter Christopher or whatever. It was Peter McNichol who played the. I think I said a completely wrong name earlier. I don't recall. Like I said, I'm tired. And yeah, Ian McDiarmid played Brother Jacopus, who gets burned alive by the dragon. Because he gets all, get beneath me, Satan, blah, blah, blah. You can hear the Emperor voice in him when he says it. And I've seen him recently in a Steve Martin movie, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. He was like a business partner of. Yeah. Apparently, Dragon Slayer influenced a lot of things, but like I know when I heard Dragonlance, I automatically thought Dragon Slayer, and when I was reading Weasel's Luck, uh, I actually was getting the names mixed up between one Galen and the other Galen, and you can kind of see why. They almost have the same exact name, except one's Brand and the other's Path. So I think the author was also a fan of Dragonlance. That whoever wrote that, wrote that one. Okay, concept. According to Howard Barwer and Matthew Robbins, and he got the inspiration from Dragon Slayer from the Sorcerer's Apprentice sequence in Fantasia. You can kind of see that because the main character is a Sorcerer's Apprentice. The editor came up with a story after researching St. George and the Dragon. Barwood and Robbins rejected the traditional conception of the medieval world to give the film more realism. There's no knights in shining armor, no pennants streaming in the breeze, no delicate ladies with diaphanous veils waving from turreted castles. No courtly love, no holy grail. Instead, they set out to create a very strange world with a lot of weird values and customs steeped in superstition. The clothes and the mannerisms are rough, their homes and villages primitive, and their countryside almost primeval, so that the idea of the magic would be a natural part of their existence. For this reason, they chose to set the film after the end of the Roman rule in Britain. Prior to the arrival of Christianity, Barwood and Robbins began to hastily work on the story outline on June 25th, 1979, and completed it in early August. Oh, well, only about less than a month. A little over a month. Yeah. Less than a month or whatever. Me math good. They received numerous refusals from various film studios due to their inexperience and budget negotiation. The screenplay was eventually accepted by Paramount Pictures, and Walt Disney Pictures became the two studios' second joint effort after Popeye. Oh yeah, this is what I was talking about here, where I was mentioning about, they used a very different kind of style to get the dragon to move around. 25% of the budget went directly into the dragon special effects, as it should, because that's your key player in the movie. You want all the budget on that, as much as you need. They put an early emphasis on flying because the most important sequence is in the final battle. Bonnet gave it a degree of personality, deliberately trying to avoid the creature from Alien, which they believe was too hideous to look at. After Bennett handed his storyboard panel to the dragon design was used a wide variety of techniques. The final feature is a composite of several different models. ILM finalized the design and sculpted a reference model. Disney Studios closely followed in constructing the larger dragon props for close-up shots. 2 months later, Lee's team finished a 16-foot head and neck assembly. There is a Dragon Slayer anime. Is that its actual name is Dragon Slayer? I might look that up. Okay, and it's spelled 2 words. Okay, Dragon. And that came out, well, I'll find out here in a second if it's in the backlog here. Dragon Slayer video games. Oh, there's a Dragon Slayer board game. If I can get a hold of that, I'll show that off. And it was the working title for Dragon Quest. Oh, sorry, 1992. Okay. 1992. Well, I'll look into that, definitely. So 11 years later. Okay, yeah, I'll look into that, definitely. Other names that have been used in here, Dragon Slayer, a book in the Bone series. Oh, it's a comic book character. Dragon Slayer's Academy, a series of books by Kate McMullen and illustrated by Bill Basso, which currently features 20 books. Okay, the Dragon Slayer novelization, which I think I had that at one point, but I don't think I ever read it. Then you got the movie. There's a 2011 film, which it's a documentary about Josh Screech Sandoval. I have no idea who that is. Then you got the Dragon Slayer board game based off of the movie. And it's got a link on that. I'm going to look at that for a second. Dragon Lair series of video games published by Neon Falcom. Dragon Slayer video game. The first game in the series came in 1984. And of course, it was the working title for Dragon Quest, aka Dragon Warrior, back in the late 80s. Then you got a few bands going by the name Dragon Slayer. Dragon Slayer was erroneously said to be the previous name of the band Slayer, so it turned out it was a lie. Dragon Slayer Dream Evil album, 2002. Sunset Rubdown album, 2009, Dragon Slayer. 2014, there's a movie or a song called Dragon Slayer. I've seen clips of it, and I was told that I need to be prepared to watch that one. 2014 song, I like this one. Dragon Slayer was a song in 2014 by a group called Ninja Sex Party. So it must be a silent but deadly orgy. Dragon Slayers by Martian Metals, a series of miniatures. Bet you that was for D&D. Dragon Slayer is a roller coaster at Adventureland at Altoona, Iowa. Coach, survivor contestant, reality TV who refers to himself as the Dragon Slayer. Okay, and this is probably why, yeah, it just now mentions that. Last entry on here. Dragon Slayer, a fictional sword wielded by Guts in the manga series Berserk. The main character is Guts. His sword is called the Dragon Slayer. Yep, and I was just getting to that one as you pop that one up. Great minds think alike. Now I wanted to look at the board game here. How much does it say here? Okay, well I'm gonna. Yeah, and I'm also told that I need to be prepared for that one because that show can get dark. And I do like some dark fantasy stuff, but I have to be really in the mood for it. Um, I watched, and it's the same thing with anime. I have to be really, really, really prepped because I had an experience back in the '90s. My cousin, I got her into anime when she was young, and so much so that she was actually helped sponsoring bringing anime to this is back in the late '90s. She started helping bring anime to stateside. She would donate money and stuff into it. And one of the ones she helped in was and she got far into it more than I ever did, and I still got blamed for it by her mom, my aunt. She was mad at me about it. She's always spending her money on that anime and stuff. And my cousin, bless her heart, when she was asked, why she was so addicted to anime, she said, "Would you rather I be addicted to anime or drugs?" Yeah, I'm always the scapegoat. I'll tell you a story about that sometime in the future. But okay, so let's look at this board game here. Oh, I got the mouse on the wrong thing. Yeah, I'm putting the mouse over here where I have the screen of the stream, and I'm trying to move stuff around on the stream when I should be moving over here to this screen to do it. Okay, Dragon Slayer board game. This is all on Wikipedia. Dragon Slayer is a board game published by Simulations Publications, Inc., SPI. In 1981, this is based on the movie of the same name. Dragon Slayer is a game for 2 to 4 players in which the players are magicians competing to free the fictional land of Erland, which is the name of the kingdom in Dragon Slayer, from its last dragon, Vermithrax Pejorative. Yeah, I remember the name being extremely tongue-tying, Vermithrax, but it's like I don't remember the last name, but yeah, Vermithrax was the first name. The game board contains 17 by 22 map of Erland, 100 die-cut counters. Die-cut, wow, okay. 11 by 17 battle display, sheet of rules, quick reference sheet with examples. Setup. Each player selects a magician and an abode and places 2 king's men on the map. The dragon's shield and Erlich are placed on the map, and tiles are placed face down on the towns and the hamlets. Gameplay. Each magician takes their turn in a particular order. Uruk, Meridids, Old Kievan, and Galen. Each magician wants to build up their strength and their magician items before taking on the dragon. On their turn, each magician can spend up to 3 days moving by land or sea, or by taking tiles. Each magician also can, if desired, move their 2 kingsmen. Victory conditions. When a magician feels they are strong enough to take on the dragon, they move to the dragon's lair and engage the dragon in combat. If the magician slays the dragon, the game is over, and that player is the winner. If the magician loses everyone in the party, that player is out of the game. Any other result is a draw. The dragon is moved to a new location, and play continues. Publication history. Following the premiere of the 1981 fantasy movie Dragon Slayer, SPI acquired the license to produce a board game. The result was Dragon Slayer. No shit. Designed by Brad Hessel and Redmond A. Simonson, with artwork by Simonson. It was released in 1981. Reception. David Ladyman. That's an interesting lady. He's a lady man. Review Dragon Slayer and Space Gamer number 26. Ladyman commented that Dragon Slayer is a simple but imaginative game. As usual, I think the price is somewhat steep for what you get. If you've seen the movie more than twice, get the game. You'll enjoy it. It has flaws, but they can be avoided if you like to tinker with and fine-tune the game system you buy. You'll probably like Dragon Slayer also. Let's see if it mentions any differences. Dragon Slayer is a novel by Wayland Drew, published in 1981. Dragon Slayer is a novelization of the film Dragon Slayer. Well, I was kind of hoping if it might mention any differences between the novelization and the movie, because a lot of the times the novelization is based on an early draft of the script. David St. Marie reviewed Dragon Slayer in Ares magazine number 9 and commented that I found the Dragon Slayer to be a solid novel overall. It has failings, but most of those symptomatics of novels based on scripts have been avoided. We got a review in Dragon magazine. Alright, well, that's that, I guess. So, yeah, that was everything related to Dragon Slayer. And, yeah, if I ever get the gumption to do it, I'll probably check out Berserk. I do know my cousin played it. And I was mentioning a story earlier about her. One of the videos she brought over, and this is back during the age of VHS. Hey, Exotic Slayer 13, how you doing? And what ended up happening was, if you've heard of it, it was an anime called X, based on a manga called X 1999. And I do know there was a series that was made sometime later. I haven't watched it, so I'm not even going to bring it up, but I will talk about the movie, which is what I saw. And it was an English translation, and it's one of those things that it gives you like a bunch of characters to get attached to in a short period of time. And pretty much every single one of them die before the end. And I'm talking about both sides. Pretty much everyone dies except the two main characters. Well, three main characters. Which is these two guys who are best friends. And this girl that is also a friend of theirs. And possibly a love interest for one of them. Maybe both of them. And the quote-unquote good guys drag in the main character, and they say, we need you to choose a side because whichever side you choose will, decide the fate of Japan or the world or whatever. So, and he says, I'm not choosing because, I'm not about this. I'm not doing this. He goes, you're not making me do this. I'm out. And then his best friend, he's given the same choice, and he's told that the other guy didn't decide. So, you know what he does? He decides to go evil. And I mean full-on evil. That he doesn't even care about his own side. He kills anybody and everybody just for the sake of being evil. And they're building up this big battle. I'm going to throw in spoilers in it, so I'm saying it now. I'm throwing in spoilers. They build up to this big battle that's supposed to happen between the two of them, and the one guy goes, why did you choose? I chose so we didn't have to do this. He goes, I chose evil because you refused to choose. And I'm just sitting there going like, well, that's fucking logic. You didn't choose, so I chose evil. And it was like, when they first introduced them, these guys are buddies, they had nothing against each other. It was just all of a sudden he just went off the deep end, and it turned out that these magical swords they need is inside the girl. I know, right? He goes, well, you didn't choose, so I'm going with evil. And I'm going to go full bore on this. Anyways, the swords they need are inside this one girl, or a sword that they need is inside this one girl. And they pull out the sword and it kills her in the process. I'm from California, but I don't speak the language. Then why'd you? Never mind. Anyway, so what ends up happening is, oh, you use a translator. But okay, you're starting in rough already. Okay, I see how you're going. All right, how is your day going? My day is going fine. Still a little on the south end of being healthy, but I'm working on it. That's why you haven't seen very much in the line of gaming right now. But I'm doing a lot better, and hopefully I'll get back to gaming soon. I keep saying I'm going to start the next week, and then I don't. I do like a game video, and then it's like the rest of the time, because right afterwards I get extremely exhausted afterwards. That's why I haven't been doing very many of them. And it's like, I just woke up, and it's like around 7:30 in the evening. I took a nap at around 4 o'clock. So I'm not, my brain still hasn't really caught up with with the rest of me yet, and vice versa. But as I was saying though, so these two guys get together. They're in, pretty much everyone's dead. The entire city of Japan is fucked. Oh, my pet is asleep like a baby. But yeah, the entire city of, or not, the entire continent, I should say, not city, the entire continent of Japan is fucked at this point. Particularly Tokyo is now a wasteland. Everybody in it is dead except these two guys. And you're thinking, and they're doing this big thing that there's going to be this big battle between these two friends now enemies thing. And it's so underwhelming. It was so underwhelming. It was over before it even started. The main character just decapitates the other guy, and that's it. And then that was it. There was no, crossing of swords. He just decapitates him, and that's the end. And he's just sitting there holding his friend's head, crying, going, "Why? Why did you choose? Why did you choose?" And that's the end of. And then they play like this sad music, and I'm just looking at my cousin like, "Thank you very much. I needed that downer." But yeah, everybody dies in the movie. I have no idea if that happens in the series. I refuse to watch the series just because I saw the movie, and I'm just sitting there going like, if it's a continuation, how? But if it's its own thing, maybe. But I'm just sitting there going like, yeah, everybody died. It's just like that one. I know it goes by another name, but there was also another anime called Planet Busters. And it was basically, I don't remember the exact plot of it, but it was a sci-fi, and it has this alien invasion planet coming, and this alien invasion is there. They're coming there to pick up these weapons that this alien ancient race had made, and they're trying to get there. And I don't remember the exact details, but somewhere along the line, one of the weapons was like which looked like kind of like a sci-fi looking bazooka. This guy thinks he's doing a good thing. I'm going to protect my master. I'm going to fire this weapon. I'm going to kill you guys. He fires the weapon and it blows up the planet everybody's on. And that was it. And then it cuts to like this ancient race in a distant part of and they're the ones telling the story. And he basically says it's mankind never learned or something like that. And I'm just like, yeah, and they never will because they just blew themselves up. Yeah, a lot of the '90s anime, if it was gory or stuff like that, good lord, and it was like they did not hold back a lot of times. And yeah, I will admit a lot of it was crap. A lot of the anime was crap, especially a lot of the stuff by AD Vision, which was one of the producers at the time that would bring stuff stateside. But they had a lot of these gory ones. It was like, and a lot of times it was gore just for the sake of gore. It had nothing to do with the plot. Nine times out of ten, it was like the stories, and then it'd be over with, and I'd listen. All those nihilistic people. Um, Speaking of which, CJ got married on May 4th, the same day as my dad's birthday. And if he's seeing this, congratulations. Sorry we couldn't attend. Our health was in the way of all of that. We didn't even get to do the Star Wars thing like we wanted to. We went there, and it was going to be we were going to make a video and stuff, and they said no, there's too many children here. Well, actually, they didn't tell me no. I just decided I wasn't going to because there was way too many children there, and I didn't want to get in trouble with parents, and I wasn't going to make an issue out of it, so I decided not to do a video. So that was my personal choice on that one. If I went to a different event and there was more adults there, then yeah, I probably would have done something a little bit more akin to what everybody's used to. Oh, yeah, I was going to bring up Krull, and I totally spaced on it because we were talking about other stuff. Okay, Krull, which is probably one of the earlier appearances of Liam Neeson in a movie, who was also in Excalibur roughly around the same time. I think a couple of years before that. But, fun fact, if you can actually IMDb it, this was originally going to be called Dungeons and Dragons. And the main villain was originally supposed to be a dragon before they turned it into that weird beast thing that looked like a aborted fetus. Because if you look at it, that's what it looks like. It looks like an aborted fetus they just added teeth to. But I digress. Looking right at it. Okay. Anyway, gonna clear that off. So change of subject. Ravenloft, I believe I'm going to be starting on June 6th. And the idea June 7th, excuse me. Yeah, I'm going to start that on June 7th. The main, I say June 6th because that's a Friday, but it's supposed to be June 7th, so I might have to correct myself. So I'm doing that now. June 7th is when it's actually going to happen because I want to have those on Saturday nights when I do the live stream, and then I'll have like I do normally, I'll have the video version up the following day. And I'm going to start with Ravenloft. I'm going to screen up here so I can remember the actual titles. I think that one's called Strahd's Possession, which I'm told by several people that Strahd doesn't possess anybody in it. It's just the name. And it's followed by Stone Prophet, which is more set in a ancient Egyptian, the mummy kind of setting. And I'm talking about the old Universal Studios Egyptian, from the 1940s and whatnot. Not the early 2000s mummy, especially not the remake that happened more recently with Tom Cruise. Screw that noise. To my understanding, you'd like to play those two games too? Okay, yeah. To my understanding, another reason I'm also trying to play them now is because a later game in the Forgotten Realms, Menzoberranzan, uses the exact same game system that they had for Ravenloft. So I decided, you know what, maybe I should play Ravenloft before I get around to ever playing that. That way I can have some familiarity with it. See as it builds up. Also, I'm thinking of probably bringing back Diablo. And I'm not going to be playing all the Diablos. I'll probably just get the one that I have on there. And I'm going to use that on the platform for Realms of Horror. Since that did have a darker, more horror-themed element as far as I was concerned. So I'll probably put that in there. and any other kind of RPGs that have a more heavy scope on horror. I'm actually considering holding off on Scald and putting it with that. I'll keep it where it is, and I'll just continue it as part of the other thing when I get done with both Ravenloft games, and I'll get back to Scald there. So that means I got another game I got to put up on Monday nights. Like I said, right now I'm going through a phase of, experimenting on what works and what doesn't work. So you're going to be getting a lot of that right now from me. Because I'm trying to... my viewership has dropped considerably since I removed a lot of the older videos. Because apparently it was keeping all those in count within the last 365 days. So from almost 2,000 hours worth of viewership, it's now dropped down to less than 1,000. And I'm trying to get up to at least 3,000. So, I got to do a little bit of. Excuse me, I'm stuttering. I had to do a lot of cleanup because a lot of the old videos, I'm trying to hone my craft, I guess you would say it, when it comes to how the videos are presented. And a lot of the early ones were very unsatisfactory for me, even then. I know I keep looking over here. I'm looking at the chat to see if anybody says anything, even though I'll hear it chime now, but I do it out of habit. Yeah, because all the views that they counted, they removed them, so it dropped 1,000 hours worth of viewership just disappeared when I did the cleanup. I did not know it was going to do that. Of course, it should have occurred to me that would have happened because I had a video where it was just the Dungeons and Dragons commercial from 1983 that you see in a lot of my videos when I have a commercial break. I had the videos by themselves. And because I hadn't integrated them into anything and, just by themselves. Yeah, one would think. But what ended up happening was that particular commercial was the most popular video on my channel. And it got me well past 3,000 viewership. It was like up in the 5,000s at that point. And it was just from that one commercial. And I didn't know any better, so I'm thinking, I'm probably going to start looking at some money, looking at some green here, right? No. I get rejected, and they said because it wasn't my product. And I was like, that's kind of understandable. I get that, but so I decided to remove all the old commercials and I started integrating them into other things. And and that was back in 2023, and I have yet to actually try to match the numbers of that, even 2 years later. And most of the time, my hours have been roughly almost the entire last year. My viewership hours were mainly balanced between 1,500 and 1,700. And it was consistent through the entire year. So, I've been trying to get new viewership in, and I get a lot of subscribers and stuff, but none of the subscribers are watching. Because I got 845 right now. And the most viewerships I'll see in a video is maybe, at most, on a regular, 35. And then I have videos that, are in single digits. In fact, you know what? I'm going to look at it right now. I'm not going to have it up on the screen because I don't want you guys seeing my stuff. But I'll tell you the information you probably want to know. And mind you, I'm not worried about the money. I'm socially secure. So I'm not going. I'm not going to go. God, please pay me. I need your money. You know, gimme. I'm not going to be a whiny little bitch about it. But yeah, it was kind of disappointing. It's the thing of my mindset is, oh, a little bit of free, a little bit of extra cash that I can spend on the channel. That's my thinking. Yeah, right now I stand at 845 subscribers and 3 videos in the last 90 days. Like I said, I haven't been feeling well. I stand at 955 with valid public watch hours in the last 365 days. And 103 valid public short views, which I really don't count those because I don't make those that often. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at my videos. Okay, so my most recent one, which is the reaction to Punky Doodle's cartoons, part 2. It just says Punky Doodles on it, but those little cartoons he made. Or she. I don't know if Punky Doodles is a person, a place, or a thing, male, female, or other. And that one right there, I got 37 views. That's the most recent one. My Dungeons and Dragons online sessions I got 13. And that's the most recent one, with session 30. Part 1 of the Punky Doodles is part 41. The thing I did about the yard sale, 14. My unasked for Q&A, which I never got any real response to that, so I was kind of surprised. 26 views. Where I showed the CRPG Realms of Horror trailer, 23. Session 0 for Wasteland, 45. Skald Against the Black Priories, Session 2 was 43. My reading, Forgotten Realms, Chapter 2, 30 views. My trip to the Comic-Con, 37. Dungeons & Dragons Online Session 28. Wait a minute. What happened to Session 29? Oh, there's Session 29. 14. 28 is 18. My manual readings, those are a mixed bag. Like Wasteland was only 17 views. Just some random conversation, only 10 people watched it. Which I have no high hopes for this particular one when I edit it and I put it on YouTube. Skald Session 1 was 14. Final Fantasy Session 11, 23. Looking back on the cons I attended, there was 36. The first time where I was reading the prelude in Chapter 1 of Darkwalker on Loonshay, I got 46 views on that. When I was the video where I apologized for no longer having any more Bard's Tale videos, 76. That's the highest one so far. Session 27 for Dungeons & Dragons, 25. Pool of Radiance Session 14, 51. Dungeons and Dragons Chronicles of Mystara, where I played the arcade game a while back, 121. That's the highest I've got so far, looking back here. Wizardry Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord, Session 6, 35. Session 26 of Dungeons & Dragons Online, 39. So you kind of can see that there's a consistency of, almost a consistency of anywhere from 20 to 40 being the majority of my views. Very rarely do I get anything with 3 digits, and on some occasions I'll get a single digit viewing. Like, for instance, Session 10 of Final Fantasy, only 10 people watched it. 37 for Order of the Griffin Session 11, and that's the last one I did a long time ago. Session 13 of Pool of Radiance, 35. That's about standard. I'm talking about the Phantasy Star tabletop RPG that's coming up this summer, and I already got a pre-order for and all that stuff. Where looking at the video and all that, and I get 14 views on that. Apparently, not many people are interested in it, and I noticed that very little people are talking about it on YouTube. So I thought, hey, maybe I might start something. Nope, nothing happened. 76 on Wizardry Session 5. And Dungeon Tech had 32. I actually can't show boobs on Twitch. I can't even be shirtless. If obviously I'm not going to have a girl in here shirtless. But if I was shirtless, I'd get in trouble. Go figure. Blade of Destiny Session 0, 75. Where I talk about here we go, single digit, where I talk about I'm overhauling the channel for a while, and it's only 9. Only 9 people watched that one. Let's see, 43 for this one. Which one was that? That was Session 4 of Wizardry. Me reading the manual for Blade of Destiny, 52 people watched it. 17 people watched Final Fantasy Session 8. Order of the Griffin had 41, and that was Session 9. Pool of Radiance Session 11, 28. That's pretty consistent. Legends of Amberland, which I'm actually thinking about dropping because next to nobody watches it. I only had 16 on there on this one. That was Session 5. Wizardry Proving Grounds, 26. And then you had, Blade of Destiny manual reading too. Apparently people bounced around on that one because I only got 17 on that one. With the ending being 52, and I think the first one was 49. So, yeah, the in-between, hardly anybody watched that one, so figures. Where I was talking about whether or not I should play a certain game later on in the channel. There's a bit of controversy on the game, is the name of the video. 57 people watched that one. Session 7 of Final Fantasy, 31. Okay, that's a little bit better numbers there. Order of the Griffin got 57. Where I gave a little tour of my desk, 14 views. Not surprised there. Pool of Radiance, or Session 9, 34. Again, that's pretty consistent with Pool of Radiance. Legends of Amberland, Session 4, 25. Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord, number 1, 30. A small video where I was talking about prepping for Wizardry, getting the graph paper and all that. 14 views on that one. Birthday where I was watching Dungeons & Dragons themed TikToks, 24. Which I'm not going to be doing any more TikToks, by the way. Or reactions, I should say, to TikToks. Let's see, Final Fantasy Session 6, 22. Yeah, Final Fantasy is kind of a mixed bag as well. It's like sometimes I'll get good numbers, sometimes I don't. I guess it's just whatever it is I'm doing on the game at that time as people gets their interest. Order of the Griffin Session 6, I got 20 on that one. Relearning Wizardry, where I was half-ass reading the manual and some other things involving Wizardry, 66. I mentioned my birthday coming up and, what I was planning to do with, Wizardry at that point. Only 10 views. Pool of Radiance, well, here we go. Pool of Radiance Session 8. A little beyond the norm here with 74. Tower of Mystery, an Atari game that was never released, but was now on the Atari 50 anniversary 32. A video where I discussed a girl was flirting with my dad. It was flirting with me to get to my dad, I should say. 117, so bad romance probably did the trick there. Reaction vids, reacting to other vids you've made. I did something like that with the me watching my own Comic-Con and anime convention videos. Me talking about being bombarded by trolls, 116. Where I was testing Grimoire, the Herald of the Winged Exemplar, 57. Yeah, this is where I kind of decided I wasn't going to be continuing with D&D TikToks. Only 20 views there. So, and I wasn't really laughing that much in them. Half the time I was sitting there scratching my head going, I don't get it. Realms of Arcania test run. 130 for the test run. Which I thought, oh, there's going to be an interest in that, but then, I couldn't get the game to go very far without getting lost. My first time playing Tower of Mystery, 45. Legends of Amberland, Session 3, 14. Final Fantasy Session 5, being rather predictable here with 21. I probably should be continue playing Order of the Griffin. I'll probably move that one to Monday. And that one is 40 at this point. So Order of the Griffin, I'm probably going to reschedule for Mondays. Eye problems and headaches, 24. Session 7 of Polar Radiance, 66. That's a bit of higher number right there too. And that was where I was exploring East of the Well. My re-upload of me watching TikToks, because apparently there was a few TikToks in there that were put me in the red zone on that. And that one only got 29 views. So, yeah, that's another reason I'm not doing the TikToks anymore. Because I was expecting a higher body count, but it didn't happen. 24 for Final Fantasy Session 4. Part 1 and Part 2. Part 1 is 36, Part 2 is 24. And the reason I split them was because they were so long that it would take almost an entire day for it to edit them as a whole. And the editing part, it wasn't the hard part. It's my computer fixing it once I got it done. The Anime Gaming Con, 47. That's not too bad. More TikToks, and that was 30. Legend of Amberland Session 2, 25. I might continue with Legend of Amberland, because I am seeing some... They're not consistent, but there are big numbers in there. And me talking about having issues with my campaign stories, that had 43. And yeah, I think I'm abandoning the whole thing because I keep trying it and it just isn't working out. Because I did a kind of a preview as a live stream, and I watched it, and I'm like this the entire time watching it. It was like, oh god. It was lame. Okay, Final Fantasy Session 3, 44. Order of the Griffin Session 4 is 65. That's the highest for Order of the Griffin so far. Me snuggling with my cat, 38. Session 6 of Pool of Radiance, 61. So that's a bit higher numbers there. My premiere for the opener for Daffy Duck's music, with Daffy Duck's music, 60. That's not too bad. Session 2 of Final Fantasy, 66. So it started off with high numbers on Final Fantasy, but it really, oh yeah, number one, 187 for Final Fantasy. But it started to drop rapidly afterwards. Revamped 2025 opener, 43. And I should probably drop that one because I don't even use that one anymore. So I could probably get rid of that one, but I'll leave it there just for the numbers, 43. Watching D&D memes. I think that's the only time I did that with 182. Maybe I should do that again sometime. Where I was going through the catalogs of Strategic Simulations Inc., which had the original Gold Box games and all that. 53. Kind of okay there. One of the test runs where I was trying different games to stream, only 7 people watched it. So if I got rid of that one, no one would notice. Test run for the Bard's Tale was 41. Test run for Pathfinder Kingmaker, 14. Taking a 2-week break, sort of, 29. Test runs for Pathfinder again, 23 and 26. Treasures and Trinkets GameStop Haul, 11. Wow. Nobody watched that one. Except for my hardcore followers like you. Pool of Radiance Session 5, 48. Legends of Amberland Session 1, 71. The highest number on there so far for them. Legends of Amberland Session 0. Having some technical difficulties in character creation. That was 46. Order of the Griffin Session 3, 62. When I discussed Realm Town is the new name for Evermore Park, and that's going to be what it's going to be whenever it decides to open. 58 people watched that one. Talking Shop News, which, by the way, this is the new Talking Shop. Whenever I do this is what it's going to be called when I put it on YouTube. It's going to be called Talking Shop. And I'm probably going to take the old ones and re-edit them from the original live streams from YouTube and put them up as well. See how they turn out. Let's see here. Talking Shop News, where I was saying I'm going to be doing a live stream at some point. And that was 28. Session 4 for Pool of Radiance, 90. So yeah, at times I do get some good numbers, but they're not very frequent. And the thing is I actually looked up Pool of Radiance on YouTube, and my videos were nowhere to be found in recommendations. Let's see. Session 2 of Dungeons & Dragons Online is 76. Well, no, actually, that's not 2. It's 23. Session 20. Huh? I have no idea what... Oh, that was supposed to be 28, but for some reason I put it as 23. I might have to... You know what? I'm going to fix that. Yeah, that's supposed to be session 28. I think that was about the time I discovered I was going to be needing glasses because I was starting to have a hard time reading some of these. The reason I'm reading them fine right now is I actually got the screen blown up a little bit so I can actually read a little better. Audio testing, 1, 2, 3. What was I testing? Oh, it was because the headset I was using, people couldn't hear me through a lot of the streams. And you guys helped me out with that one, so thank you. And only 15 people watched that one. Oh. Dungeons & Dragons Online session number 20 had 316 views. A video where I have some sad news, 842 views. I have sad news. Doesn't matter what it was. 842 views. You sick bastards. What do you think it was going to be? Dungeons and Dragons online session 18, 120. Yeah, some of the online sessions I do get triple digits on occasion. Periodically, I'll go to Dungeon Hack and they'll throw me up another 25 views. The Big Fresno Card Show 2024, 41 views, which is about standard for most of the time. Yeah, I've noticed that my conventions, I do tend to be in the late 30s, early to mid 40s with viewership. Updating on my health at 68. Mentioned Talking Shop 19. This is what bothers me. I'll put a promotion up and it'll have good numbers. Then when the actual live stream happens that I was promoting happens, maybe one or two people show up. What the hell is that? You guys seem interested initially, but then never show up. And one time, I don't remember when it happened, but during one of my Dungeons & Dragons online sessions, I got raided on Twitch. Which is probably one of the funnier segments on one of my videos because I had no idea what was happening and I was having a panic attack. And then until someone told me that it was a good thing, someone liked my stuff and they were pushing their audience on me. Where I did a little thing where I said Happy Halloween, 8-second video, 103 views. One of my Dungeon Hack videos, 49. Rule of Radiance, Session 1. Pool of Radiance, Session 1, 85 views. That's probably one of the higher ones for that. Legends of Amberland manual reading, 45. 91, 71, and 59 respectively for a trio of Dungeons & Dragons online sessions. 9 to 11. Huh? When did that happen? Got a copyright on here. See the details on there real quick. Well, I can just get rid of the music. Here. I don't think it really matters anyway, because I don't think anybody's really watching that video anyway. New demo reel, 25, 29. My finale for Phantasy Star 1, 31. That's probably going to be consistent with that. Order of the Griffin manual reading, 41 views. Me putting curtains on my window over here, 28 views. Manual reading for Dungeon Hack, 2 parts. First part was 81. Second part was 29. Session 6 and 7, Dungeons & Dragons Online, 82 and 105 respectively. The Weekend Blender, Not Your Typical Comic-Con 2024, 72 views. New Atari 50th Anniversary DLC, 89 views. Me talking about going to not your typical Comic Con, getting ready for it, 10 views. Okay, me playing Magic Sword, the arcade game, 82 views. Knights of the Round arcade game, 9 views. Apparently that one wasn't really liked. Fantasy Star in Session 9, 123 views. That's not too bad. Dungeons and Dragons Online Session 4, 71. Session 3, 60. I don't even remember what I was doing on that one. Still messing around. Oh, okay, that's what happened. It was basically I just did a little bit of what I'm doing here after playing King of Dragons, which was right before it, right there. And that one had 35 views, and Still Messing Around had 14 views. Messing Around, a better look at my surroundings, 17 views. When and Where Am I on Dungeons and Dragons Online, 27. Order of the Griffin, Session 10, 35. Sessions 0.2 and 0.1, which was basically a manual reading and character creation, 97 and 62 in that order. Fantasy Stars Session 8, 44. Dungeons & Dragons Online Session 2, 36. Oh, Dungeon Hack, new location in real life. Basically, when I moved into this room for doing videos. And I mentioned it in title. And that took 40 views. Update on my room while I was cleaning it, 21. Cleaning my room before I started cleaning it, 19. So people were more interested on me updating my room, updating on what I was doing on my room, than actually finding out I was cleaning it. Session 1 of Dungeons & Dragons Online. And that, just to let you guys know, that particular there's two actual runs of Dungeons & Dragons Online. The first one is with me and my cousin CJ. And when it starts over again, I'm basically by myself, and I joined a guild at one point early on, but then the more recent ones, I'm no longer with a guild, I'm solo again. But people are welcome to join me at any time in these games. Just let me know. I don't remember where I'm in that one, but I'll look it up in a second. Saturday Retrocade, where I was trying to do a thing where I was playing like old school arcade and console games, not necessarily RPGs, and it was 27. And the reason I stopped was because I was pretty much running out of ideas. Fantasy Star Session 7, 31. And this is probably the lowest I got on Order of the Griffin. So far, I think it's 16. I could be wrong. There probably was different numbers, but... the Bully Boo Walk, which was for a Fallout-themed dog walk, which I didn't attend, but I just brought it up because I happened to see a flyer at the vet's office when I took Miley into the vet. 28 views on that one. First Saturday Retrocade, 26. Dungeon Hack, 17. A test run of Might and Magic, Book 1, which I need to figure out how to slow down the game. If you watch the video, the game is going so fast I couldn't figure out what was going on. It was going so quickly. So, I'm talking the graphics, the game, it was just going constant, and I'm just sitting there going, like, trying to keep up with it. If I was epileptic, I'd be having seizures. And that had 30 views. Let's take a trip to Legends Comics. That had 58. Fantasy Star Session 6, 27. Order of the Griffin session at 8:20. Legends order cards and games. I was getting ready, getting ready for the big day later that week. Only 6 people seem to be interested in that one. Dungeon Hack again, 2022. If you notice, Dungeon Hack doesn't have sessions numbered on it. I've never numbered Dungeon Hack because they're not really sessions. They're usually just one shot. I see them as kind of like one shots because pretty much every time I played a new character. There have been occasions where I played more than more than one session with one character, but those are so far and in between that I don't even bother with it. Going back to the original videos, and this was ones I actually got in trouble with, and that was I was doing Dungeon Hack. If you look at the character portraits for the males, there's one that looks like the Ultimate Warrior. So as a gag, I started using clips from the Ultimate Warrior's colorful career of how's the best way random nonsense he would say as on his promotions, and I was using little clips from that, and I ended up removing all the videos because for a while I was doing fine, and I think in the period of 24 hours after like the 4th video where I had the Ultimate Warrior as a character in Dungeon Hack, which is the longest I'd ever played as a single character on Dungeon Hack, I got a copyright strike. And not like the ones where it's like, it's not going to affect anything, but you're not going to get any monetization out of it. No, this was cease and desist kind of thing. And I'd already gone like 4 videos, and it was over the duration of a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks, and I got no flack for it whatsoever. And boom, they hit me all at once on all 4 videos. And I was given a warning. They didn't just shut off my channel. They were nice enough to give me a warning. So I just removed the videos and decided never to do that again. Okay, so Order of the Griffin Session 7:20. Phantasy Star Session 5:23. Okay. Where I was looking through some old D&D manuals on PDF, and I noticed in the monster manual that the goblin artwork and the graphics they used for a goblin in Pool of Radiance were the exact same thing, just in color. I made a small video about a minute and 32 seconds discussing it. 77 views. So there was interest in that one. Phantasy Star Session 4:87. Dungeon Hack 24. Session 3 for Phantasy Star 36. Pretty even with Session 2, which is 37. When I first started going on to Twitch, and I mentioned it on a video, I get 25 views. Session 6 of Order of the Griffin, 35. When my computer crashed and I lost a whole bunch of stuff, and I had to start all over again for a lot of my programs, I got 43 views on that and 10 comments, which I think is probably the most comments I ever got in a video. And here we go again. Yeah, another, because it didn't just crash once, it crashed twice. So yeah, and that had 15 views. Session 1 for Phantasy Star, 92. I don't even remember what the rant was, but I had a half asleep rant, and it was 29 views. A demo reel of Abathur, which I should probably check in on that game, see if there's anything new going on with it. And I got 20 views on that one. When I read the 44 rules for D&D that someone put on Reddit, Um, Funny thing about that was like a popular video that was going on, or a popular thing that was going on at the time, and I just wanted to throw in my 2 cents on it because it interested me. So I go, you know what? Before I watch everybody else's videos, I should make my own first, and then watch the videos because I didn't want them affecting my decision, my judgments on it. So yeah, if I see like there's a fad or something and it's an interest to me as well, I'll do the video, but I won't watch anybody else's until afterwards because I don't want to do I don't want to be influenced on whatever judgments I'm going to make. The very first store I did an interview slash review of the Dragon's Horde, which is still there, by the way. They're still doing business, and now they're doing sponsoring stuff for conventions. And that one got 49 views. That's about average. Order of the Griffin Session 5, we got 25. When I did the reaction videos to D&D cartoon AI generated in 1950 trailer style, I got 41 views in that, with one comment. And this, I think, I left the comment on there because, he wasn't really mean about it, but, it was a complaint on his part, which was, why does it say Galder's Gate? I put B on there, didn't I? Here, I'll fix that. There we go. Save. It was a video for Baldur's Gate 2 done the same thing in 1950s style. And, no, it was the first one, 1950s style of the original Baldur's Gate. And I did a thing on the video where it said it was, I put on it offensive. Yeah, apparently people got offended by the fact that I did a reaction video to that one because it was AI generated, which the first one got 263 views. That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good. I'm glad I did that. Test run of Wizardry Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord, the NES version, before I decided to go with the Super Nintendo version, which I was able to get a translation of. Super glad I got that, because I'm told it's a better version than the NES. 27 views on that one with a comment. Dungeon Hack, drinking random liquids is bad for one's health. Yeah, that's a nasty habit of mine in Dungeon Hack. I'll get like a potion or something and I'll just drink it and throw caution to the wind. And I think one of my characters died of poisoning after a while because I couldn't find anything to cure it. And there was a regular commenter I get on my channel. He knows who he is. And every time I do that, he gets on my ass about it. It's like, why do you do that? When I was playing Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms for a little while, I'm not going to do any more games like that. Idle games just don't entertain me. And that was a good example. I gave it a shot. I played at least... Well, that one I don't even number it, but I think I numbered earlier ones, and it was just... I got back to it just to see if... I was giving it another chance on that one. Order of the Griffin, Session 4, 39. Oh, here we got another one. When my hard drive blew a gasket. Apparently, bad news is good company because I get 125 views on that one. When I played the Hero Quest prototype for the NES, I got 183 views on that one. This is probably the highest numbers I've seen on here. Hero Quest, things I didn't know existed. This is one of the higher numbers here. when I was making the joke about Broadsword. 501 views on that one. Dungeon Hack, and this is one of the few times I actually put a session number on it, and this was session 144. Order of the Grissom. I almost said Order of the Grissom again. Order of the Griffin, session 3, 32. Road trips and a bucket list, which I still have that bucket list. It's been changing rapidly. I might tell you guys what's going on that list again soon. Road trip bucket list, 31. Dragon Stomper, session 1, No Mercy. There is a reason why there's only a session 1. I can't get the game to play again. I mean, I can't get it to run at all on my emulator. So I might have to find a different emulator to use, but I'm not sure what to use. Dragon Stomper, Session 1, No Mercy, 34. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, Session 1, 20. Remastered test run of Wasteland, 32. And the original is 29. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, they kind of stayed within small numbers, which was usually between 15, or usually between 10 and 20. Yeah, because I'm still looking here, it's like 13, 18, 15. The 2024 latter half of the opener, 23 views on that one. OmegaCon, Memorial Day, the cosplayer contest had 45 views. The OmegaCon Memorial Day, the con itself had 88, which is probably one of the higher numbers I've had. The Ice Cave segment of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, I think this is the highest number for that one, 250. And right before that was Session 5 of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, 23. Knights of the Chalice demo, 61. Which is probably a game I'll probably get back to eventually. Order of the Griffin Session 2, 36. OmegaCon ad, I had 23 on that one. Session 4 of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, 42. I want to get back to Dark Alliance 2 for Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2, but I seem to have so many problems just trying to record it or stream it. When I do recordings, the audio gets out of sync about halfway through the videos almost every single time. If I try to do it as a live stream, it's extremely choppy and I can't get it to smooth out at all. So I probably either have to get a better computer or find a better recording system. I just recently had a visit from my brother, and this is the one before this, which was last year, almost to the day. My brother at Applebee's, 50 views on that one. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance Session 3, 46. Things about becoming a screeching halt this channel soon. Oh yeah, when I was running into so many problems with my channel. And I said, my situation is getting worse. You know what? Let's watch that one. Hey everyone, this is Dave. My situation. I don't know why when I'm doing a stream, YouTube decides to go exceptionally slow. I have next to no hours right now. I want full. What is going on here? Because of that, I'm going to have next to no money. All right, now dismissed. Okay. I want full screen. Why won't you go to full screen? There. God. My name, and I'm not going to be able to afford paying for internet for a while. At least, hopefully for a little while. And, well, it turned out, this was, it was false information. Until I can get internet going. It was basically, now I remember what it was going on. God, straighten out. Okay, basically what it was at that time, I just lost my job as security, so I was under the impression I might not be doing videos. But you can, I'm not going to go through all of these, but you can kind of get, that the majority, the majority of my videos tend to be anywhere between 20 to 45 in views. So that's why I'm not making money off this channel. And of course, I've been running this channel for a little over 3 years now, and still not making any headway. It's just a frightening image right there, so let's just get rid of that for now. And I think I'm probably going to call it a night here. I didn't realize I was on that much. I thought I was only going to be on for like an hour, maybe an hour and 30. I've almost been on for 2 hours. Thank you for watching. Yeah, this has mainly just been a rant, apparently, for the last half hour of me, my counts on YouTube. It's not a complaint. It's just, have a good night. You too. And yeah, I hope you guys aren't thinking that I'm bitching about not making money on YouTube. I'm not. It's just, it sounds like Miley's on the road, so I better go help my dad move the cat so he can use the restroom. You guys take care. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream, whichever comes first. Bye-bye.